Hello, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and please check out my channel for other videos. So the last update about Taste of Fate. Abhi and Pragya's lives were in danger as Gaurav attacks them and Prachi quickly goes there to save them. Let's continue. The episode starts with the flashback scene of Gaurav calling Sushma and asking her to send Pragya to the hotel restaurant cold storage room. Pragya gets informed by Sushma. She comes to the cold storage room. Abhi and Pragya were both locked in the cold storage room. Prachi saves them. Prachi asks someone to catch the goon who wanted to kill her parent. Sushma comes there and the goon collides with her. Sushma asks Siddharth to catch the goon. Prachi checks Pragya and Abhi struggling to breathe and asks the doctor to check them as their oxygen mask is pulled off. The doctor goes inside the ward. Sushma says that it is good that Prachi called her. The police comes there and arrests the goon. Prachi asks that who is he and who has sent him. Tanu is at Gaurav's house and Mahesh offers her drink. Tanu says that she drinks when she celebrates. Mahesh asks if Tanu would drink hearing the death news of Abhi and Pragya. Tanu says just as I come to know about their death, then I will drink. The police comes there with their team and hears Mahesh and Tanu's conversation. The inspector says we did not know that the crime confession is going on. Tanu tries to escape, but she was caught by the lady constable and she asks that why did you catch me? The lady constable says we know what you have done, else why were you running? Gaurav says Abhi and Pragya are doing this for business rivalry. The inspector says that they are not in their senses and tells them that the goon confessed and mentioned their name and he tells Gaurav. Gaurav is shocked. Tanu says, why are you arresting me? I am not involved. The inspector said then why did you come to take charity? He says the court will decide, but we will not leave you. Mahesh says so you will arrest us. The inspector says yes and drags them out. Rambru comes home. Rhea gives him angry look. He asks if Prachi and the doctor ask him. Rhea says Prachi is not at home. Rambru says if Prachi is fine and asks if she went out. Rhea asks what is this problem and says that her home is getting ruined due to him. Rambru asks her what she wants to say and asks her to say it clearly. Rhea says now you want to know clearly, though you did not trust me. Rambru calls Prachi. Rhea says she went with Siddharth and says that she must be fine as she is with him. She says that they did not go to the doctor or the chemist. They went for a date and asked him not to wait for her. She says they will come late. Rambru says enough. Rhea says I told you and I showed you all the love stories, but you closed your eyes. Rambru says you are mad and you need help and says anything. He says Prachi is my wife and Siddharth is my brother and he asks her to keep her bad thoughts in her mind. He says if you say this again, then I will, and he goes inside. Rhea looks on upset. Prachi looks at Pragya and Abhi from the window pane and thinks of her moments with them. Rhea gets Shaina's call and asks her to tell why she called. Shaina asks what happened. Rhea says Rambru always takes Prachi's name all the time. Shaina says that Prachi is his wife, so he will mention her name. Rhea tells Shaina that whenever she tells him that Prachi and Siddharth are having an affair, then he refuses to believe her. She says Prachi said that she is unwell and she will stay at home. Shaina asks if Prachi really went out with Siddharth. Rhea says that that is not the point and says that she is trying to prove their affair with them. She says that she saw them laughing, but Rambru did not believe. Shaina asks her to do something drastic so that Rambru can think that they are having an affair. Prachi cries and asks Sushma. Sushma says Pragya is strong. She will defeat death and she will return. She asks her to be strong, bring Pragya's daughter, and says everything will be fine. Siddharth looks at them. The doctor comes out and says that the mask was moved. They couldn't get the oxygen. Sushma asks what happened to them. The doctor says that they went into coma. Sushma says that what were they doing and says that she doesn't want to lose her daughter again. Prachi runs inside. The other doctor says that until he came, the patient couldn't get oxygen and they slipped into coma. Sushma says if anything happens to my daughter, then I will sue this hospital. She tells Siddharth that she cannot get weakened and she will take her daughter to London and she will get her treated. She says nothing would happen to my daughter. Prachi looks at Abhi and Pragya and she cries. A song plays in the background and Prachi recalls her moment with Abhi. She then looks at Pragya and recalls her moment with her as well. Prachi sits at Pragya's bedside and says, Mother, what are you doing here? She says you cannot lie down here. Your place is with us all. She says you always give courage to everyone. You cannot lie down like this. She says you have promised me that you will make father fine and everything will be fine. She says you have done it. Prachi says I came late. If I had come before, then this wouldn't have happened. She asks Abhi to get up and she cries. She hugs Pragya and says, I will be with you. The doctor says the meeting time is over and Siddharth takes Prachi out. Prachi says mother can hear me and I will stay with her. The doctor says that there is a way to treat coma patient and she asks her to go. Prachi refused. Rambru comes to Rhea and apologizes for getting angry on her. Rhea asks him to sit down and listen to her calmly and says that the matter is there itself. Why did Prachi went with Siddharth? Rambru asks her to fight with Siddharth and leave Prachi to him, and he says that he doesn't like this, so don't say such things again. Rhea says, I can ask that where is Prachi? She is my sister. Rambru says he called her but it is not reachable. Rhea says even Siddharth's phone is unreachable. She asks Rambru why don't he call Siddharth and ask. Rambru says if they have gone together, then they might have gone for a professional walk. Rambru says Prachi is hardworking and a professional, and she had gone for work before also when she was unwell. Rhea says why didn't she agree to come with you when you said that she is your lucky charm, but she denied. He says it is my mistake that I came here and talked to you. He says I was wrong. You can doubt and do whatever you want, but don't involve me. Rhea calls Siddharth and says Rambru wants to talk to Prachi. She ends the call and says that they are coming home. The doorbell rings. Rambru opens the door. Prachi is crying. Rambru asks what happened. Prachi hugs him. Rhea asks that where were they? Rambru and I were worried and asks if they forgot that they have a family. Rambru says please not now. Siddharth says that they heard the guy talking on the phone and conspiring to kill Abhishek Mehra and Pragya, your mom and your dad. He says I called Prachi immediately. Prachi says mother and father are in coma and she hugs Rhea. Rambru asks how. Siddharth says that they were trapped in the cold storage room and he says that the doctor said that they are in coma as the oxygen level dropped. Rhea is shocked to hear this and she recalls her moment with Abhi. Rambru tells Prachi that nothing will happen to her mother and her father when she is there. Rhea gets angry. Rhea shouted at Prachi for not informing her about Abhi and Pragya being in the hospital. She asks if they were just her parents. She asks if you wanted to be their good daughter. Why didn't you call me? She says I would have talked to them. Prachi says even I did not talk to them. When I reached there, they were unconscious. The doctor did not let me meet them and they went into coma. Rhea asks Siddharth why he did not call her. Siddharth says your call was unreachable. Rhea says my phone was on as I was waiting for you both. Prachi says I wanted to call you, but everything happened so suddenly that I did not get the chance. Rhea says you have forgotten your husband and he has forgotten his wife. She says she will go and meet them. Siddharth says visiting hours is over. Prachi asks Siddharth to go and undo her. Rambru says everything will be fine. Prachi hugs him and cries. He gets a call and says he has to go and see his in-laws. The doctor asks the nurse to talk to Sushma Tandon and tells her that they cannot discharge them in 4 to 5 days. Rhea comes there and asks the doctor about them. The doctor says Sushma Tandon wanted their treatment to be done by the best doctors and says we also want them to get fine. Rhea comes inside the ICU and asks Abhi to open his eyes and see her. She says I have returned and meeting you after many years. She cries and says you were with me always, but I left you. She says sorry. Siddharth gets a call and goes out. Rhea then looks at Pragya at the other bed. She says I will not tell you sorry and I want you to be there. You deserve to be there. She says you couldn't become a good mother and also a good wife. She says whenever you returned, you ruined my family. Aliyah comes there and says Pragya is a curse on our family. She says she has destroyed the Mehra family and ended everything. Rhea hugs her. She says we had a good family. The Mehra and the Kohli family used to stay together. She says Rambru and I used to love each other. Then Prachi came between us and took Rambru. And she, Pragya, took my dad. She says she is very alone. Aliyah says you cannot be alone with me. She says you would have gotten Rambru that night. She says your love will be brought back to you and it will become yours. Aliyah asks her to come with her. She calls someone and asks the person to reach the hotel. She needs her help. Aliyah tells Rhea that the hotel is of her business friend and asks her to come there with Siddharth and Prachi. Rhea asks, what do we have to do? Aliyah says, I have a plan. Rambru shows his presentation of his startup. The client likes his startup. Rambru says it is my years of hard work and says he wants his startup to be his own and wants to work hard on this. Rambru says if I get your support, then it can become big. They tell that they love it. The client says that they are doing this project with him and even called the media. Rhea asks Aliyah how did she know about that. Aliyah says her neighbor guy works here. They see Siddharth coming and they hide. Aliyah says I will leave. She pretends to make a call and speak to make Siddharth hear. She says Abhi and Pragya are in the ICU. She says Gaurav is accused of murder and asks someone to meet her in the hotel room 505 and says you will get your money there. Siddharth hears her and gets shocked. Siddharth calls Rhea, but she switches off her phone. Siddharth calls Prachi. Prachi picks the call. Siddharth tells Prachi about hearing a lady talking to someone about Abhi and Pragya in the ICU and Gaurav is accused. He says I have a thought that she planned this and meeting someone to give them money. Prachi says we have to catch her and says my parents are in coma due to her. She says I will not leave her. Siddharth says I will meet you there. Rhea switches on her phone and calls Aliyah. Aliyah asks what happened. Rhea says Siddharth called Prachi and told her everything. She says Prachi will go there and Siddharth will go behind her. Aliyah asks Rhea to come there with Rambro and says your life will change in 30 minutes. Rhea tells Aliyah that Siddharth is calling her and she picks the call. Rhea pretends to be emotional about her mom and her dad and says I will talk to you after reaching home. The client asks them to send the media inside. Prachi calls Rambro and says there is no network. She asks the driver to drive fast. Rambro thinks that Prachi will get mad with happiness when she comes to know that our dream is fulfilled. He calls her, but her number is unreachable. Rhea calls him. The client asks him to sit. The reporters ask Rambro about his startup. The client says he is awesome. Rhea gets Aliyah's call and Rhea tells Aliyah that she is going to the hotel room. Rhea says I did not talk to Rambro. Aliyah asks her to bring Rambro there. Siddharth follows Aliyah. Rambro reads Rhea's provocative message that she saw them going inside the hotel room of Clinton Hotel. Rambro calls Rhea and asks her not to say anything wrong. Rhea asks the driver to continue driving. Siddharth calls Prachi. Prachi says she is in lobby. Prachi says she came to meet someone in room number 505. The receptionist asks her to sign. Rambro signs the contract. The reporter asks how is he feeling. Rambro says it is my wife's dream. My dream is ours. He praises her and gets Siddharth and Prachi's picture standing on the reception of the hotel. He gets doubtful. Rhea calls him and pretends to be sad and tells him that I told you, but you did not listen. Rhea says Prachi took his big step due to you. She says if you haven't stopped her, then she wouldn't have stooped too low. She goes on provoking him and says she is ruined because of him. She says Prachi got confidence to do this. He comes out of the meeting. The media and the client ask Rambro to stay back. They say if you leave, then this deal is cancelled. Rambro looks back. Rhea goes on provoking him and says I noticed how Siddharth looks at Prachi. She says why couldn't you see it? She asks which meeting happens in the room and asks if he wants this. Rambro gets furious and hot. He says I am coming and he leaves from there. The client says this startup is over. Prachi and Siddharth comes inside the room. They couldn't find anything. Rambro also comes to the hotel. Thank you for watching my videos. Please don't forget to like it, share it, and please subscribe to this channel for more updates. Thank you.